Hallo, herzlich willkommen zur 29. Folge von Suzerain zusammen mit Apfel.
Hallo.
Letzte Folge haben wir mit Gloria geredet und heute reden wir mit Albin. After our meeting with Gloria Tori and further discussions with the party and my cabinet, it was time to talk to Albin Clevin to get the reformist wing to support the proposal. I also planned to finally present a more fleshed out proposal and declare our agenda to the party after our meeting. I walked into the left wing of the assembly and entered the quarters of the USP. When I reached the meeting hall, I saw many of our members conversing inside. After taking a glimpse inside, I went back into the corridor to look for the office of Albin Clevin, which was around the back of the palace. When I reached his room, I knocked on his door and entered. Soll ich Albin sprechen?
Wir kommen das oft vor, oder?
Ich glaube, der kommt gar nicht mehr vor.
Suchst du aus.
Fuck you. Dann kannst du sprechen.
Okay. Mr. President, welcome.
Albin, an ihn kann ich mich gar nicht mehr erinnern. The whole room was surrounded by bookshelves packed with files and papers. It was a small office with books and dossiers lying on every corner. It felt claustrophobic. On his gesture, I took a seat. Did a bomb drop in this office? Okay. How's everything going, Mr. Clevin?
It's been busy. The party has been working very hard, Mr. President. Thank you for asking. How is it going for you in the palace?
Oh, it's pretty tough. I'm feeling pretty good. It depends on our meeting today. Ja, 1 oder 2? Ich will ja sagen 2.
Ja. 2.
I'm feeling pretty good.
That's great to hear.
Der hat schon irgendwas geplant, der Wichser.
Echt so. Our team was disappointed by the veto of the Workers' Rights Act. We worked day and night for weeks. It would have boosted your public opinion too, Mr. President.
It wasn't a good time for drastic changes. The businesses would be burdened even further. In this climate, it would damage the economy. Either way, your efforts were appreciated by the palace. It's a market economy with a free supply and demand system. The government shouldn't overregulate. 3. Drei oder 2?
Schwierig.
1, 2. Okay. Wirf sie. Wirf sie so hoch, wie du nur kannst. Gegen
Okay,
die
ja.
Decke.
Kopf ist 2, Zahl ist 3. Kopf. Also 2.
2. The businesses would be burdened even further. In this climate, it would damage the economy.
Wir machen, glaube ich, keine Freunde mit dem Mann.
Nee, irgendwie nicht.
I understand your perspective, but haven't the companies benefited from this situation and made profit for a long time? Deswegen unser Budget auch bei 0, oder? It's just that we thought the palace wouldn't let us down.
Albin sighed.
Anyway, sir, let's talk about the proposal. Thanks for coming here for my input, because there are some subjects where Gloria and I don't see eye to eye. I have to say that most of the progressives were already starting to warm up to you. Your attempt at changing the constitution created quite a bit of excitement. One would dare to say an excitement that hasn't been felt since the 30s. Yet there are some issues with the current status of the draft proposal, so we may need to contain our excitement a little longer. I suspect that Mrs.
Das
Tori...
stimmt gar nicht. Lies weiter.
Had a lot of influence on this proposal, but I cannot support this in its current state.
I needed your support. What's the problem? I need your support.
Yeah. A fact that I'm aware of.
Fuck you.
Oh Gott. Der Eistee war zu weit weg. But at this point, even my support would not be enough.
What do you mean?
This proposal will have hard time getting support in its current status. You surely know that. We have specifically asked for a change in appointment of ministers. This is what the party was expecting. Yet I see that our suggestions were completely ignored.
They were not ignored, Mr. Clevin. We can address that now. That's why we are here.
Oh. Let's see then.
He pulled out a stack of paper and placed them on his desk.
Here, I already have my suggestions.
Zufälligerweise habe ich das gerade hier rumliegen. The papers contain suggested amendments to the Constitution. I skimmed through the law he pointed out. Council of Ministers are formed upon the President's appointment of them from a list of nominees that the Grand National Assembly selects.
Gesundheit.
Was?
Das war jetzt zu viel.
Müssen wir fast machen. Auch wenn ich das nicht mag.
Goddammit.
Change.
Ja. War es nicht letztes Mal dasselbe? Wir haben was entschieden
Ja, bei
und
Gloria-
alles wieder changen.
Ja, bei Gloria, und da haben wir dann irgendwann gesagt, fuck you, und er wollte, glaube ich, nicht so viel changen. Ihn haben wir dann gleich auf unsere Seite gekriegt.
Looking good.
Oh.
Reformists were expecting a reform about the term limits. Why is that not included in the proposal? Man.
This is only my first term. It's too soon to bring term limits. That wasn't a priority. Wir können ja nicht alles in den Arsch schieben.
So.
That wasn't a priority.
What is a priority for you, Mr. President?
Fuck. Eigentlich eins.
Ah.
Eigentlich eins.
Ja.
Aber ist 4 zu schlecht, wenn wir sagen? Eigentlich stimmt's ja.
Ah, Mann.
Ich hasse es.
I hate it.
Scheiß drauf.
Fair enough.
He looked down at the proposal.
There might still be a way for me to get behind this. This is not enough, Mr. President. We can take another look over the draft, or perhaps there's something else you could do. Yeah, you could offer me.
What? Soll ich jetzt auf die Knie gehen oder was?
Was?
Entweder wir bestechen ihn jetzt oder wir schauen nochmal auf die Constitution.
Scheiße.
Fuck!
Scheiße.
Ach komm, ja wollen.
Fuck. Läuft wieder alles nicht gut.
Komm. Wir bestechen ihn. Sure, I'll offer you something else.
Wir haben kein Geld. Wie müssen es
Ja,
denn
wir haben Privatgeld.
aha. I'm all ears.
Ah ja.
Mann.
Entweder 1 oder 3.
Wieso habe ich das Gefühl, dass wenn wir eins machen, dass es auf 2 oder 3 am Ende hinausläuft?
Mich macht es halt ein bisschen stutzig, dass bei 3 nicht steht, wie viel Geld wir verlieren.
Schon.
Nicht, dass er dann sagt, ja Geld, wollen Sie mich bestechen? Also. Und dann da irgendwie einen auf Wichser macht.
Mal eigen?
Ich würde auch sagen 1. Dann geht er halt in unser Kabinett. Ich weiß zwar nicht, was der Typ kann. Vielleicht ist er auch einfach nur ein... Wir müssen ja Versprechen nicht einhalten. How about a position in my cabinet?
I think we can achieve a lot if we lead together. Well, if you promise me the position of the Vice President.
Du kannst nicht Vizepräsident werden, du kannst nichts.
Das ist ja Peter gerade, ne?
Das ist Peter gerade.
Zeige ihm den Scheck, Alter.
I took out a check and showed it to him. It immediately got his attention.
That was very direct. How much are we talking about here?
Du siehst es doch auf dem scheiß Scheck.
A lot.
Der würde es gleich sagen, ist zu wenig, du Wichser. Und würde uns gegens Bein treten. He took the check and slid it into his pocket of his jacket. Oh.
Glad to be making business with you.
He glanced at the proposal on the table.
It's looking good. I will support the proposal and get the needed signatures from our wing.
Ooh!
I believe the reformist votes that they have will be very important to you. Who knows? Maybe you'll consider me
Schnauze.
for a job in the government in the future for this.
Ja, können wir 2 sagen. If you prove yourself useful in the vote.
God damn.
Scheiß drauf.
Ja? Oh, you know I will, Mr. President. I will talk to my guys shortly. I'll have their signatures soon.
Thank you, Mr. Cleven.
See you in the conference, Mr. President.
I left his room and went back into the corridor. The meeting had exhausted me. I went to the restaurant of the assembly to get something to eat while conversing with other members of our party. I saw Albin talking to his people in the distance. After a while, the preparations for the conference began, and I went back to the conference hall and prepared my notes for the speech I was going to make. It took time to get all of the present members of the party inside the hall. Gloria Tori announced me from the stand. I walked up to the stand as everybody in the room started clapping. Ladies and gentlemen of the party, würde ich sagen.
Ja.
I came here today to announce the agenda for the future of our country. I started my speech with the reasons of the changes to the constitution. The people of Swordland have spoken. Our system and institutions have increasingly become undemocratic. The Supreme Court is blocking the future of Swordland. 3.
Jo.
Oh Gott.
Gott!
Since President Sol has placed these judges there, they believe that they are the sole protectors of the Constitution and real leaders of Swordland, even though they weren't even elected. We must be brave enough to break their power over us and bring the change Swordland has been so eagerly waited for. I paused when some people started clapping, but it was short-lived. After taking a brief breath, I continued. Talk about democracy, talk about why USP needs this to survive the next elections. Target the old guards and the Supreme Court. 1 oder 2? Ich würde sagen eher 1.
Ja.
I brought attention to democracy and why we must write a more democratic constitution. I explained how our proposal will fix the issues. The left side of the hall where Albins sat started applauding. Later I explained the contents of the new constitution and asked for their full support for the proposal. Threaten them to vote yes. Ask for the votes. Oder wollen wir sie bedrohen?
Scheiße.
Okay, wir machen 1. I ask for each and every member's vote to make a change together. The reformist wing on the left side stood up and started applauding loudly after Albin made a sign. Soon after, most of the party members stood up and joined in. I saluted everybody in the room one last time and bid them farewell before leaving the stand. I walked outside the assembly and back into the palace.
Aber es funktioniert hätte, denen zu drohen.
Ich glaube nicht. Von unserer Position aus nicht. Gut, aber dann würde ich sagen, war's es mit der Folge. Lasst doch ein Like und ein Abo da, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Schaut auch beim nächsten Mal vorbei. Morgen 14 Uhr geht's weiter und tschüss.
Tschüss.